This is a real short video on modal jazz and the Miles Davis tune, So What? Modal jazz can be really confusing if you just try to Google it or ask somebody who plays music what modal jazz means. But it actually is not a very complicated idea. So let's look at So What. If you are familiar with the song, you know that it begins with this call and response figure after an introduction between bassist Paul Chambers and pianist Bill Evans. And this piano figure is what gives the song its name. So what? We'll just take that much. So what gives modal jazz its name is that it's operating on a different principle than lots of other types of music. It's not operating based on the chords that Bill Evans is playing. This and that aren't super important. And in fact, that's important because it's the melody, but you'll notice that Paul Chambers doesn't play that throughout the whole song. He plays something very different when people are soloing. So if the soloists aren't supposed to worry about the chords, what are they supposed to worry about? Well, we can get a clue by just the notes that are played here. If we look at Paul Chambers' range, that's every white key on the piano between here and here. Okay, so there's only 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's played 6 of the 7 white keys. The only one that's missing is the 7th one. But now if we look at what Bill Evans is doing, he's playing only white keys. And now when he goes to the second chord, that's the missing white key. So between and this, we've got all the white keys on the piano. Now, I'll play it one more time. Let's see if there's any black keys played. No black keys. What modal jazz means is there's an agreed upon mode, which is just a collection of notes. Here's the collection, just the white keys. There's 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then they repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the notes from which the soloists were allowed to choose to make their playing. Now, if you have a little bit of a music background, I do feel important to tell you that some people want to make the distinction between starting here and ending here, and starting here, 1 note up, and ending 1 note up. So to be totally fair, the mode that was used starts here on this white key and ends on that one. For us listening, the difference is not at all important. That's a modal jazz piece. We don't care about the chords. We say all the white keys between here and here, that is our palette. Then paint from that however you like as an artist. And this was a little bit of a strange idea at the time. Even these chords here are pretty unusual. This is what's called quartal harmony. Quartal as in 4, because each note is 4 up from the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you may think that's breaking the rule, 1, 2, 3. But actually, if I put this one on the bottom, it's 4 below 1, 2, 3, 4, the first note. So these are weird chords because they come from a modal idea. If you are interested in this, one thing you can try if you have access to a piano, even like a children's toy piano or a keyboard, whatever you want, you can find a backing track for So What, and anything you play using only white keys for that first chunk of the song will work. It'll be modally valid, so you can whatever you want. When the song does change, you'll hear another So What figure. If you really want to try this, you can just shift to only the black keys on the piano. The second mode used in So What uses more than just the black keys, but we'll just keep it simple. If you play down here, for the A sections of So What, and up here for the B sections, and then go back down here for the A sections, you'll be in the mode. And you can see on the one hand it's simple, and on the other hand it's very challenging to make something that sounds great. And that's the fun thing about listening to So What and other modal jazz. What do the people do when they're all using the same raw materials? When Bill Evans starts his solo, he plays some figure like that. I don't 100% remember it, but it's really just kind of exploring, jumping around. And then at some point, it feels to me like Bill Evans is trying to give modal jazz, which was new at the time, a stress test. If we can do anything we want on the white keys. Can I do this? That doesn't sound that great. But if all that's required is to play in the mode, can we do this? So you can hear a section in his solo where he's just jumping around, hitting notes that are right next to each other. And it does work. So that's something to listen for in So What and modal jazz in general. It's not really important for you to know exactly what the mode is. This one's called D Dorian, unless of course you want to play along. But just to listen, you can ask yourself, each musician here is using the same collection of 7 notes for most of the song. What does Miles Davis do versus John Coltrane when he takes over? What do they do as far as the speed at which they play, the range that they use? Are there certain notes that they seem to come back to more? And maybe that will help you enjoy So What on an even deeper level. That's modal jazz.